As we approach the NBA trade deadline, the Rockets have acquired Timberwolves forward Robert Covington by trading center Clint Capela to the Hawks as part of a 4-team, 12-player deal. According to our Adrian Wojnarowski, on Friday night, the Rockets played an entire game without a player, wait, listen to this, without a player listed taller than 6'6". That's the first time an NBA team has done this since 1963. That's an unbelievable note right there. Stephen A., what does this trade mean for Houston basketball?
It means that Mike D'Antoni, specifically, possibly, I'm not sure, but possibly Daryl Morey are both on the clock. They got to get something done. I'm going to say this again. I haven't spoken to Mr. Fertitta in a while, the owner for the Rockets. He obviously has been on this show. Obviously, I've spoken to him on many, many occasions. This man is not playing. I don't know how much more serious I can be about that. He's not playing. There is a standard that he believes, fair or unfair, needs to be met, and he's watching all of this. He purchased the team a few years ago. He spent the first couple of years watching and observing and learning, according to him. Those were his words. He believes he has arrived to the point where he can at least judge what his personnel is doing. So let's analyze, Max, for a second what's transpiring. The other night, the Houston Rockets win a game. They go small. They don't play a player over 6'6". That's the first time that's happened in the NBA since 1963 with the New York Knicks, okay? They win this game. But let me tell you what I peeled from it. I saw the quotes from D'Antoni. You're going to have to keep up with us, right? Because people were speculating you're sacrificing rebounding. You're sacrificing defense, not on the perimeter, because Robert Covington was a good player for the Sixers before getting traded to Minnesota, and he's a damn good perimeter defender, and he buffers your perimeter defense. And obviously, with a lot of teams in the league, predicating their success on perimeter play to improve your perimeter defense, there's nothing wrong with that. The flip side to it is that the rim protection, rebounding down low and stuff like that, it's being sacrificed. D'Antoni is unapologetic about that. Why is that relevant? Because yet again, here we are with Houston trying something. Major props to Daryl Morey for doing something. He doesn't stand still. He doesn't stand pat. He's constantly going for it. All of those things are true, and he should be applauded for it. I'm just saying you're working for an owner that he ain't applauding your effort. He's applauding results.
Good for Fertitta.
And at some point in time, they're going to have to produce.
Good for Fertitta for having that standard. I will remind people, though, what were the Houston Rockets really before Daryl Morey? Like, there are two ways you could wind up on a second-round treadmill. You could be a 48-win team, a 50-win team that winds up on a second-round treadmill because you're just going to keep banging your head against the wall. Your system isn't good enough. And really, because you don't have LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard or someone quite on that level. That includes James Harden in the playoffs. Or you can try something new. You'll be on the same second-round treadmill maybe, but maybe with 58 wins. And maybe at least you have you're giving yourself a chance, right? Daryl Morey took over a team without a LeBron James or someone like that, an Anthony Davis, a Kawhi Leonard, someone like that. And he built this up. He identified James Harden. That dude can be much more than people realize, stuff like that. When you go small ball, it's not about height. Height has nothing to do with it because basketball selects out for height. The percentage of 7-footers in the world in the NBA is high. Of 6-footers is low. It's an advantage to be tall. But to play the kind of basketball Daryl Morey wants you to play, or Mike D'Antoni in this case, it's easier to find that among shorter players. So he's not saying height's not important. He's saying I'm going to put a heavier emphasis on what we need these guys to do, even if we have to sacrifice some height. He's just dealing with reality. And that's what Morey's done the whole time. He's dealt with the reality of his situation and taken and rolled the dice on trying to make the most of it. And he's doing the same thing here.
Here's where I disagree with you. And I think that you're being very, very unfair because of the position that we're in. Max Kellerman, we ain't competing. We winning. If we were competing, it would be a problem. They all say, ESPN, let's have a conversation. What are we doing? I mean, is that what we want to do? Now, I'm saying
because some places number one across the time slot, across cable TV,
there we go.
That's winning?
So what I'm saying to you is this. The point that I'm trying to make is that at some point in time, it's not wrong for Fertitta to look like this. I got it. We competitors. We going to be in the playoffs. We going to get to the second round. You trying to tell me with the money that I spent that I don't have a right at some point in time to want more? I mean, at some point in time, when you knocking on the door, damn it, when you going to step in?
So are they better?
Wrong.
Are they better with this? Can they compete with those two LA teams this season?
I don't believe that come playoff time, you win when you can't stop people. Now, again, they're better defensively on the perimeter, and that might get it done. But you're sacrificing the interior and you're sacrificing rebound. I don't know, but I'm telling you this. Stay here with me. If Mike D'Antoni gets himself bounced out in the second round of the playoffs, there's going to be a new coach in Houston next year.
That's fine, but then
I don't give a damn what anybody says.
You're probably right, and good for Fertitta for having that standard. But I want to say this.
Don't mess with Morey. Don't mess with Morey now.
Okay, I want to say this.
Right.
Let's keep in mind.
And I like D'Antoni.
Look at David Tepper and what he's done with the Panthers.
Carolina, he's making changes.
He came into a basically successful franchise.
Okay.
And he said, nope, not good enough.
Okay.
Having a winning record, Moses, it's not good enough. We need to do better, and I think we're at a dead end. We need to change some things.
Okay.
Good for him. But same thing with Fertitta that I said about Tepper.
Right.
Now let's pay very close attention. If he does get rid of D'Antoni Morey, let's just say for a second, let's pay very close attention to what comes next, the next 5 years, the next several years.
Sure.
Because they're winning 55-plus games a year and making playoff runs right now.
Sure, but what I'm saying to you is, if you smelling number one, it ain't like you coming from the basement. You've been top 4, top 5 for like 5 years. At some point in time, you got to kick the door in. And I don't want D'Antoni fired. I like D'Antoni, okay? And I think he's brilliant offensively. But here's the question. The thing about it is, James Harden loves this man. What he has done for James Harden's career is undeniable. But is that going to win you the chip?
You know what? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.